What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys today, and today we're checking out Hogwarts Legacy again, but this time we're gonna run around in town in Hogsmeade, because that's the hardest place to run so far that people have said, with the forest coming out as a strong second, so we'll still do that for fun too, but if it can run here, should be able to run 30-ish anywhere in the game, but, well, 60 in this game, but the Steam Deck was able to get 30-ish, so this should be able to stay at 60-ish, not to confuse anybody. I do not accept 30 FPS on this thing as playable. That's just me. Many people, as long as a game can get 30-ish FPS and not like be a slideshow, they're completely content. Not everybody is like me and has to have 100 plus FPS for the game to feel smooth. Luckily, that's why I honestly tell people, don't get high refresh rate monitors. They will spoil you and then you will want that shit all the time. Even in games that don't fucking require it. Nobody needs 200 FPS in Assassin's Creed, for example, you know? But it's fun if you can. But anyway, just like on the Steam Deck, we're gonna just stick with my settings, and then if it can't handle it, like the Steam Deck, well, then we'll just drop them down. I'll show you the settings again, and then we'll try again. And then after that, we'll get a little camera gameplay at the end. So let's not waste any more time. Get this guy hooked up capture computer, and then get some gameplay.
All right, let's try Hogsmeade out on the laptop now. But let's first look over the settings. These are the same settings I had while we were at the castle first. Let's see if I can handle it. Now, it recommends medium, not high, so I am past the recommended specs, and it had warned me this might have adverse effects on my frame rate and all that, but we're going to try it anyway. So let's give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, we can always lower the settings, just like on the Steam Deck. All right, here we go. Let's run around the town for a little bit, and we're already dropping down to 56, so probably going to have to drop settings down, but if it only does that like once or twice, that's not a huge deal. But if it's going to constantly be dropping under 60 all the time like that, then we'll lower some settings a little, I think. But so far, so good. I just did it kind of one time. But as you can see, the GPU is not at 100% utilization. And I don't have FSR or anything, so we are indeed CPU bottlenecked here. But that does happen from time to time at 1080p, but as long as I can get 60 FPS, I don't really care about that on the laptop, because I mostly buy this for the esports kind of shit, like Counter-Strike, Battlefield, Valorant, Modern Warfare mainly. That's the game I probably played the most on it, really. And then sometimes games like Diablo 2 Resurrected, I'll play with my friends when I go off to their houses with the thing. Or if I just feel like relaxing if I'm out on a trip, which I haven't really done many of those in quite a while. Yeah, we're definitely dropping under 60 in a lot more places than I was hoping for, so I think we're going to have to tone the settings down a smidge. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't care about that, but me, I like over 60 all the time. Or if it's going to drop down to 57, 58, something like that, where I won't notice as much, if at all. Because most things I have FreeSync. Like if I'm not using my monitor, this thing would be FreeSynced right now. Anyway, let's go try some new settings. All right, after fiddling around for a little while, this seemed to be about the best it's going to get without really making it look like crap or turning on FSR. So here's the custom settings I went with. I went with a couple high settings, mostly medium. No ray tracing, though. And now, let's go see how these settings fare compared to the ones we started with. Well, all right. Now let's try these new settings out here. And we'll see if we can't stay over 60 most of the time. I'm sure it'll probably drop to 57 or 58 once or twice here and there, but like I said in the settings, I'm okay with that. I don't notice that as much, especially if it's only once in a blue moon. Now, if the whole game just constantly is running at 57, 58, I can kind of tell, like, this isn't quite 60, but not unplayable, but anything lower than that, and I start really noticing. And then on my laptop, I really don't want to limit the frames to 40 or 30 or anything like that, like I do on the Steam Deck, because I'm usually using a mouse and keyboard. I'm just using a controller right now, because it's way easier than hooking up a keyboard and mouse to the dang thing every time. And when I have the camera in front of me, it's a lot easier to get the key, not use the keyboard and mouse. Otherwise, I have to like contort my body around the dang giant tripod that I now have. But I like the big tripod. It keeps things stable, and it protects the expensive new camera.
Hasn't been anywhere.
So we'll just keep running around town here. So far, so good, though. We've been doing pretty good. I didn't have my eye just constantly on the FPS thing, but I haven't really noticed any giant frame drops. We've got our little tiny frame time skips, but it is what it is. A lot of DirectX 12 games have this issue.
Sometimes it seems all roads lead to Hogsmeade.
Though, truth be told, with a game like this, since I'm not going to get anywhere near 300 FPS, I usually limit games like this to 60. Or if the game can get around 100, I'll limit it to whatever it can get around the most, just for a consistent frame rate. So that also might be why the frame times are all over the place, because we have an uncapped frame rate. Just throwing that out there. Still not a lot of GPU utilization, though, so we're still got a pretty big CPU bottleneck here. Wasn't expecting that to go away by toning settings down. That's only going to make it worse. Really, the only way to get rid of that is to turn things up. But if your frame rate drops below the 60, and I don't like that, then that ain't going to help you out at all, is it? There's a chest here. I'm trying to make a mental note where all the chests are, too. Since I'm not saving all the time, I'm just kind of like quitting. I don't think it saves shit like that, so why pick it up if I'm going to have to go pick it up again when I actually go and play the game for real, right? A lot of these things to catch, too. A lot of flying papers. But that'll be fun. I always liked chasing those in the Assassin's Creed games, too. But in those ones, instead of just getting close and using a wand to bring it to you, in those ones, you had to chase that bitch down. And sometimes it was difficult. Sometimes it was easy as pie, but sometimes it was not. Oh, so we can't jump. Yep, this isn't Assassin's Creed. I guess I can't jump up and grab hold of shit like that. That's not what being a wizard is all about. But I know I can jump in here. Now, can I get up on these? It's not really looking like it. I want to test out what I can get away with, you know? All right, well, I guess we're just going to have to swim over to the bank then. Hopefully this isn't as fast as you can swim. Can I... Oh, what the hell was it to swim? There it was. You have to click the button to run quicker, that's all.
Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade?
I don't know, does it? You would know better than I. All right, let's start heading back towards the starting point, I think. And then we can move on to a little camera.
Unicorn blood will keep you alive.
And all right, we are back to the starting point, so now why don't we go ahead and move on to some camera.
Well, alright guys, let's get a little camera gameplay now, running around the streets. Now pretty much, while we were recording on the capture card, we only dropped to about 60 FPS, so let's see how it does when we're not hooked up to the capture card. Because I'm pretty sure hooking up the capture card acts like we're hooking up to an external monitor, but as we saw in my video, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a lot of FPS in every game. But I still see why they do percentages and everything, because that's just how you do things, but percentages can be misleading. That's why I just did FPS in my video. just so you guys could see what it was like, to see if it was really worth doing on games you were interested in. But so far, so good. I mean, the only thing I'm noticing is I think there's a little more frame time skipping when we're not hooked up to an external monitor, but it could just be my imagination, or certain parts of this Hogsmeade place. But this was definitely a lot harder place to run, I'll tell you that. I had to tone the settings down from high immediately. We were dropping all the way down to like 52 at certain points. Most of the time we're at 60, but dropping all the way from 60 down to 52, that's pretty abrupt. I'm definitely going to notice that even without a frame rate counter, you know what I mean?
Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade?
You really can't vault over that? There you go. Oh, you bastard. There we go. I keep getting stuck on everything. Man, that's crazy. It's even raining and you can, like, see the little, like, rain splatters on his cloak when you get into the light. That's pretty fucking cool. See, I like attention to detail like that. But no, so far this game is very playable. You just can't have everything on fucking high and ultra anymore on this thing for new games. But that's okay. Still doing better than it's doing on console. 'Cause I'm pretty sure console, to get these FPS, you'd have to run in performance mode. And performance mode is not even 1080p upscaled, I don't think. I think it's like under 1080p upscaled to a 1440 or something like that. I'd have to go look at all the stats again, but half the time I get all this info from Digital Foundry, but they haven't done a video on this, and they might not. Some guy was having, like, I don't know, a hissy fit about, oh my god, transphobia, all this crazy shit. It's like, dude, just review the fucking game. Don't be a coward. Play the fucking game. Do not let random people on the internet dictate whether or not you're going to play a game. That is the most illogical thinking I could possibly think of. I learned a long time ago when I was a young boy that you need to not care what people think and have fun doing what you enjoy. Because I've noticed a lot of people like to put people down just when they're happy. And that's usually because that person is a sad, sad individual and they want to bring everybody down to their level. So I just don't let them do it, because then they win. And then that usually pisses them off even more, let me tell you.
If it thinks it's got half the power.
Still though, I really am going to enjoy this game, I feel like. Even this laptop can play, I can have fun on my Steam Deck too. I can get a pretty constant 30 FPS without everything being on low. Most stuff's on low, mind you, but a couple things are still on medium, and I still kept my textures on high, damn it. Anything lower than high textures in this game, and it kind of starts looking bad. But arguably, another weird thing I've found is if you put everything up to Ultra, although there was an update today, so it might not do that anymore, but Ultra actually looked worse in, like, reflections and stuff when I was walking around in a Hogwarts castle. I noticed the floors were a lot less reflective, so maybe that's why when I did ray tracing, I thought the ray tracing made all the reflections worse, because I was on Ultra at the time, I'm pretty sure. So I just wanted to toss that out there. Yeah, we seem to get way better frame times when we're not in town. Like, the second we go back into town, the frame times start going fucking bananas. But I think that's just because it's so hard on the CPU in here. Steam Deck was working a lot harder than this, but Steam Deck's only got Zen 2 cores. Very low-powered ones at that. This is Zen 3. And we're still at 47 to 50% sometimes, depending on where we are in town. And we drop down to 30s here and there sometimes, too. And we're only getting 80% utilization in the GPU in town, too, so we definitely got a CPU bottleneck going on. I don't got, what you would call it, I don't have everything on low, and I don't have FSR on, so it's not like FSR is causing a CPU bottleneck by lowering the resolution too much. Anyway, though,
why don't we go and wrap this video on up now?
Well, that is a wrap for Hogwarts Legacy and Hogsmeade, and we did have to tone it down from high. High didn't quite work. High was 60-ish most of the time, but we would drop down to 50 here and there, so you guys know me. I like having my 60 FPS, so I went and I messed with the settings a little more, and now it doesn't really drop below at all. I've seen it drop down to 60, but I don't think even while we were doing camera with it sitting and doing its own thing, not hooked up to a serial monitor or nothing, I don't think we ever dropped below 60 either. So more than playable on this thing. Still, later on, don't worry, I'll also go to the foresty area too, but I don't think that's nearly as hard as Hogsmeade to run. So still gonna do it though, because I said I would. So now though, why don't we wrap this video on up so we can go and try 1440p out and see, and we'll just test these settings out and see if they're still able to hit 60 and 1440p. Now, if we got this close to hitting going under 60 on 1080, we're probably gonna have to turn stuff down, but who knows? Maybe that'll lessen up the CPU bottleneck a little bit and let me still get 60 the whole time. Computers are weird, games are weird, that's why I test them, so you guys will know. So anyway though, that's all I got for this particular video though. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it, and until the next video, peace out guys.